Hey y'all, welcome back to my Southern Rustic Kitchen and welcome if you are new. This week I've made some easy and delicious dinners for you guys, so let's head on into the kitchen and let's make some delicious meals. For this week, I'm starting out with making dessert. Now I'm making some lemon and poppy seed loaf with the addition of blueberries, and this is so good. You can leave the blueberries out if you just want to do the lemon poppy seed loaf, but this is so good. So we're going to start out by making our wet ingredients. First, I'm going to add some melted butter and sugar to my bowl, and I'm just going to beat this with my handheld mixer for a good 2 to 3 minutes. So much better. Now that is nice and combined, I'm going to go ahead and add in 3 eggs, one at a time, mixing well before I add in the next egg. Now I'm going to add in some milk and some vanilla, mixing well, and then I'm just going to set this aside while I work on the dry ingredients. Let yourself be free and maybe you will find that there is more to life than being pretty. Honey, let's just face it, you can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better, so much better. I don't fit to you. For the dry ingredients in my bowl here, I'm just going to add some flour, baking soda, salt, lemon zest, and poppy seeds, and then I'm just going to mix this together until it's nice and combined, and then we're going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, you don't have to hide it. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, don't hide it. I don't fit into your bars, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your bars, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. Now that you've combined your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients, you're just going to gently stir this together with a spatula until it's almost combined. You will still see a little bit of flour in there. Once it's almost combined, you're going to add some flour to your blueberries, about 2 to 3 tablespoons, and mix that together. This will help keep the blueberries suspended in the batter and not sink to the bottom. And then just go ahead and mix that together until everything is nice and combined. Now that is all combined, just make sure there's no flour at the bottom of the bowl. Once it's all combined, you can pour this into a greased loaf pan that has been lined with parchment paper. You're going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 50 to 60 minutes, just until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out with a few moist crumbs. You're going to remove it from the oven and let it cool for about 5 minutes. You're going to poke a few holes in the top with a wooden skewer. In the meantime, you're going to make your sauce. For the sauce that goes on the top of the pound cake, you're going to mix some lemon juice and water, bring that up to a boil, let that boil for about 3 to 5 minutes. It shouldn't be too thick because you're going to pour this over the top. Once the holes have been poked into the pound cake, just pour it all over the top and let it set in the pan for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then you're going to remove it to a wire rack and let it cool completely. Now that I have the pound cake sitting over to the side and it is cooling, we're going to start on dinner.
Now I'm making barbecue turkey meatballs. These are absolutely delicious, and you can pair them with anything. Now I don't have a recipe written down for this, but if you would like one, let me know in the comment section and I will get that up for you on the blog as soon as I possibly can. So starting out, I've got a pound of turkey meat, some breadcrumbs, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika to my bowl here. Then I'm just going to add in some parsley and some red pepper flakes. I'm going to mix this up, make some little golf ball size turkey meatballs, put them on my plate, and then we will get these in the pan. Oh, and you're also going to need 1 egg.
I say I'm doing alright, I'm fine. Hey, I say I'm doing alright, I'm doing just fine, but I'm scattered, and I cry when you're not around, because it matters, dreaming of your kisses in the nighttime.
Now that you have the meatballs all formed, you're going to add a skillet to a medium-low flame on the stove. You're going to add some olive oil to your pan, and then you're just going to add the meatballs in there. You're going to cook them about 5 to 6 minutes per side, depending on how high or low your flame is. And then you're just going to cook those until they are completely cooked through.
I wanna hear you say that you only want me.
Now that the meatballs are completely cooked through, you're going to turn your heat down to low. You're going to add in some beef broth and whatever kind of barbecue sauce that you like or prefer. Then you're just going to toss this around, make sure all the meatballs are nice and coated in that sauce, and this is ready for dinner.
I wanna love you like I do on my own. Yeah, this is what it's about when it's just you and I, and the stars in the sky and the heart on the motor. It's so much better from home.
Alright, here is my plate. I just have the barbecue turkey meatballs here, and these were absolutely delicious. I've got that paired with some steamed green beans, just simply seasoned, butter, salt, and pepper. And I've got some wild rice here that I cooked in the Instant Pot with some chicken broth. And you guys, this was an absolutely delicious, easy meal. And I did not forget about the lemon blueberry pound cake. You guys, this was so delicious. I will leave the link to this in the description box down below so you can go check that out. Tonight for dinner, I'm going to be making some cinnamon churro pancakes. I absolutely love these pancakes. They're very easy to make and they're absolutely delicious. So to my bowl here, I've got some flour. I'm going to add in some sugar, baking powder, and salt, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And then I'm just going to whisk that up until it's thoroughly combined. Now that the dry ingredients are nice and combined, we're going to go in and add in some melted butter, buttermilk, some vanilla, and an egg. And then you're just going to whisk this together until everything is thoroughly combined and there's not so many lumps. A few lumps are fine, but you don't want to overmix your batter. And then we're just going to set this aside while we heat up our skillet. While the skillet is heating up over medium-low heat, we're going to work on the milk glaze. So to my bowl here, I've added in some powdered sugar, I'm also going to add in some cinnamon, salt, vanilla, and some milk. Then I'm just going to mix this up until it's nice and combined. If it's too thick, you can add some more milk. If it's too thin, you can add a little bit more powdered sugar. But it should be a thick but pourable consistency. Now that the pancake batter has rested while you made your milk glaze, we are ready to make some pancakes. So just add a little bit of butter to your skillet, ladle in some pancake batter. You can make these however big or small that you want. And then you're going to cook these about 3 to 4 minutes on one side. You're going to flip them over and cook them for another 2 to 3 minutes on the other side until they are nice and golden brown and completely cooked through. Then just remove them to a plate for later. Alright, here is my plate. I just have the pancakes here. I topped it with that milk glaze. Now you don't need any extra syrup with this because it's pretty sweet with the milk glaze, but you can add some if you want some. Then I just topped it with some toasted pecans, and I had some over easy eggs and some bacon to go with it. And this was so good. For dinner tonight, I am making a Thai-inspired soup. This is Thai chicken and coconut soup. It's very easy, full of flavor, and it's absolutely delicious. So to my pot here, I've got it on medium-low heat. I'm going to add in some chicken broth, unsweetened coconut milk, some Thai peppers, and some fish sauce and ginger. I'm going to mix that up, add some salt and pepper, mix that up again, and then I'm going to let this come up to a boil and let it kind of simmer for about 10 minutes. Now that this has been simmering for about 10 minutes, I'm going to go in and add in some very thinly sliced chicken breast. I've got 2 chicken breasts that I just sliced up very thinly. I'm going to add those in and give that a stir. Make sure to break up all of that chicken so it all cooks evenly. And then I'm going to add in some lime juice. And then I'm going to stir that around, and I'm going to let that cook for another 10 minutes just to cook that chicken through, and then this will be ready for dinner. I've been told too many times now, yeah, loving me was all you tried when you were around. Alright, here is my bowl of soup. This was very delicious, very filling, and it's full of flavor, like I said. And from start to finish, this is on your table in under 30 minutes. Now you can top this with either cilantro or parsley. I know a lot of people don't like cilantro, so you can opt for parsley. But you guys, this was so good. Tonight I am wrapping up this week with another family favorite, and that is pot roast. You can make pot roast any kind of way, but gone are the days of dry pot roast, whether you cook it in the crock pot or in a Dutch oven in the oven for hours. But today I'm just going to be making my Sunday pot roast, and it's very easy. Starting off, we're going to add some oil to my Dutch oven. We're going to salt and pepper both sides of the pot roast, and we're going to cook the pot roast on both sides for about 5 to 6 minutes per side. Now that you have seared the beef on both sides, you're going to go in and add in some beef broth, Worcestershire sauce, garlic, rosemary, and thyme. Then you're just going to kind of mix this around until everything is kind of incorporated into that broth mixture.
Looking for a new start, for a new start. Looking for a new, looking for a new, looking for a new. Don't wanna be trapped, don't wanna be down, don't wanna be stuck in this town. Don't wanna be trapped, don't wanna be down. Looking for a new start.
Now once that is all nice and incorporated, you're going to go in and add in your vegetables. Now today I'm adding carrots and onions. I am not adding potatoes to this because I'm going to be making some mashed potatoes to go with this later. Once you get your carrots and onions in there, if you're adding potatoes, you can go ahead and add them. Just make sure you cut them in kind of fairly big chunks so that they don't break apart during the cooking process. Once those are in there, just season the top with some salt and pepper, pop the lid on it, and put it in the oven at about 300 degrees for about 3.5 to 4 hours.
We are who we are. Why don't I be me and you be you? We're spreading color around us. We're lighting up the sky, it's what we do. We shouldn't care about anyone or anything that brings us down. So come on now, let's be free. Just be yourself. Keep on doing what you do, doing what you do. Just keep on doing.
Now here I am just making my simple potatoes, my mashed potatoes. So I've gone ahead and cut up some potatoes into small little cubes, added them to water, and then brought them to a boil, let them cook until they were tender. Drained them, put them back in the pot. Now I'm just going to add in some salt, pepper, and some butter. I'm going to mix this up just to incorporate the salt, pepper, and butter into the potatoes. Then I'm going to add in a mixture of buttermilk and milk. This is at room temperature. You don't want to put cold milk or buttermilk into your potatoes. It'll make them gummy. And then I'm just going to stir that around until everything is nice and combined. And then I'm just going to check the seasoning and adjust from there. And then everything is good to go. Now here I'm just showing you some biscuits that I made. These are kind of like a copycat Cheddar Bay biscuits. Now these aren't an exact match to the original Cheddar Bay biscuits, so I'm going to play around with this recipe and see if I can get it to closer match that Cheddar Bay biscuit flavor, but these were so good. Alright, here is my plate. I just have the pot roast with the vegetables here, the mashed potatoes with some of that pot roast gravy, and a Cheddar Bay biscuit, and I say that loosely because I'm going to tweak this recipe a little bit more. But you guys, this was absolutely delicious, and I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye guys.